That's all I'm gonna do, y'all. All I'm gonna do. SummerSlam 2025 is in the books. Night 2 last night was really, really good. I'll say the same things I said for night 1. Wasn't the greatest show, wasn't a bad show, just over a little bit of great, right? Same thing I said about night 1 pertaining to night 2. And holy shit, they gave us an ending I was not expecting. I'll just say the least. That I was not expecting that. But that's the good thing about pro wrestling, when you can keep things under wrap. And WWE's gonna have a lot of fucking questions that needs to be answered in these coming weeks about what happened at the end of the night last night. And man, what a monumental moment. Something I wouldn't never expected, especially in this time and age, given what happened the past few years. Something I would not expect to happen. WWE did it, right? They did it at the end of the night. For those unaware, right? Let me fix this damn camera. Hold on. Let me do this, man. Hold on. This fucking camera's all off kilter. For those unaware, we got a returning superstar. You thought Saturday night was crazy? Sunday night, at the end of Sunday night, so you got the ending result of that main event. Triple H might have just topped what happened the previous night in terms of newsworthy things. I'm gonna just leave it at that once we get there. But I'm pretty sure if you've been watching everything, if you're on socials or anything like that, you already know what happened at the end of SummerSlam last night. I went a perfect 6-0 when it comes to the predictions. I told you guys the last video, the video before the predictions, the video before the review, night 1, that I had this odd suspicion that since there was a lot of baby faces winning night 1, there was going to be a long amount of heels winning in night 2, and that's exactly what happened. Once we get to AJ Styles in the match, like most of these matches were TV matches, really, with grandiose entrances or pretty cool entrances, right? I felt like we was only gonna get one big babyface win, and we got that win, and that's exactly what happened. But enough for the. This ain't even a rant, but enough of the breakdown. Let's go ahead and talk about night 2 of SummerSlam. We're going to be seeing a whole lot of 2-day event pay-per-views from now on. I think it's rumored for Survivor Series to be next, and Royal Rumble, I want to say 2027. I think they want us in Indy. So it's coming, y'all. So just be prepared and be ready for 2-night pay-per-views for the Big 4. I'll say they're working on Money in the Bank too as well. So this is going to be the norm for a very long time. TKO loves this. Granted, I like it too because it isn't like you're trying to stack everything on one show and trying to have these shows last for 5 to 6 hours at a time. So it's good in that right, and you have lesser matches that goes either 15, 13, 20 minutes depending on what match it is, and you can, differentiate it, and you won't be there as long, like 3 hours max or maybe 3.5 hours to watch your show. So that's a good format. But I think they should do a deal where you get 2 combo tickets for not so fucking expensive, because I've seen that like when I was looking at future pay-per-views for 2-night events, that I know you can pay for 1 ticket for 1 day and 1 ticket for the next day and 1 for a combo, but though they both be fucking expensive, so it's like a pick your poison there. But to kick off the show, we had the Women's World Championship triple threat match with Naomi defending her Women's World Championship against Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley. It it's not really fair to compare this match to the match that Bianca had, that Iyo and Rhea had with Bianca at the Royal Rumble. I mean, WrestleMania. Totally different person in there with Naomi. Naomi Kando, right? A little bit of more of the same of this match that they had at WrestleMania, but just not like I don't say theatrics, but like the monumental stuff, right? Everything added in there, the story. I think they could have really benefited from more of a story approach when coming to the triple threat matchup. Yeah, we know that Iyo and Rhea have the story, but Naomi doesn't really have a story with them outside of cashing in the contract and becoming the Women's World Championship. And I think the crowd wasn't really feeling it though. Like for some odd reason, they was feeling it at the beginning when it comes to the entrances. Like Rhea got a huge pop, Iyo got a really good pop. But it to me something like seemed off with the crowd, man. Like this whole little night, really to be honest. Um, we'll get why when you like search like through the social media and stuff, people posting things or whatever. The crowd was off from, at least from my opinion, throughout the majority of the night. This triple threat match wasn't your basic triple threat match, really. A pretty cool thing about it, the entrance is Naomi was played down to the ring by her father on guitar, which is very cool to see, very cool sight, and you know she was super happy to have her father there for sure. I think the last time Naomi was the champ at SummerSlam, back when she probably was feuding with Alexa Bliss, probably in like 2016, 17, somewhere in there, with the SmackDown title or something like that. She probably lost. Last time we seen her walking into SummerSlam as the world champ of any kind. But like I said, this triple threat match was just your basic triple threat match, really. Nothing like super exciting in terms of like maneuvers or anything like that. Naomi hit like a crossbody on both Rhea and Iyo. That's like the biggest point that I can remember from the match. I feel like these women had a better match in them for sure, but maybe they was capped at a certain match limit in terms of the minutes they had. I don't know. This match didn't give me the same feel. Like it didn't give me a certain feel that I was looking for. It wasn't a bad match at any stretch of the imagination. It's really one of the better matches on the show. But I think the crowd could have played a bigger part than what they did in there. Finish saw Rhea hit the riptide on Iyo Sky, and Naomi came from outside of the ring and rolled her up, got the surprise win, caught Rhea by surprise, and pretty much stole the victory from Rhea Ripley when she rolled her up and pinned her for the 1-2-3 to retain the Women's World Championship. Pretty much like the chicken shit heel would do. They worked this match like a basic two babyface heel matchup, right? By the two baby faces working together, doing after the heel, getting their revenge for what the heel did at Evolution. So this was that kind of matchup. I thought it could have been better for sure. The crowd could have been more into it for sure. But this wasn't a bad match at all. This is really one of the best matches on the card. I thought that the crowd should have been a little better, a little bit more invested in it though, for sure. The crowd just felt off to me when it comes to this matchup. But I would definitely say watch this matchup again. It was a really good matchup. Then next up, second match we had was the Human Car Wreck matchup, the TLC, the 25th. It's been 25 years to the day, or to that day, that the TLC match was born. They had the Dudley Boys and the Hardys in attendance for this matchup, and that's been awesome because that's two of the three teams who were involved in the first ever TLC matchup. And the Dudleys and Hardys, if you don't know, will be having one final match against one another at TNA Bound for Glory. If you don't know what Bound for Glory is, it's for a separate company, TNA, but they do work with WWE. If you don't know what Bound for Glory history is, it's literally one of their. It used to be, if I'm not mistaken, their biggest pay-per-view back in the day when they used to be on Spike TV. Bound for Glory was like their WrestleMania in a sense. But I think now Slammiversary is their WrestleMania now for sure. But all you gotta do is look at TNA Bound for Glory on Google or something and it'll pop up. But the Dudleys and the Hardys will be facing each other in the tag team matchup for the tag team championships one last time. So don't miss out on that. It'll be happening in the next few months, I believe. But those two teams were in attendance. Those two legendary tag teams. We had Fratium. We had the Street Profits, the Wyatt Sits, DIY, Andrade, and Ray Phoenix, and the Motor City Machine Guns. This was what we all expected it to be, a human car wreck. These teams used tables, chairs, ladders. Women, the other women from the roster got involved, that being Candice LeRae, B-Fab got involved in this matchup. So everybody's paying homage to the TLC matchup from like WrestleMania 18? No, 17, with Edge and Christian, when they had Rhino in their corner, the Dudleys, who had Spike in their corner, and the Hardys, who had Leader in that corner. If you ever remember watching that matchup, all three of those people who were with those tag teams got involved at some point in that matchup, and this was kind of like this here. They had a bunch of spots. The crowd was really behind. They was really behind Ray Phoenix and Andrade at certain points in the matchup, especially when you get towards the end of the match. One thing about this match, man, I don't know if Montez Ford does this a lot in his matches, but at one point it was a ladder bridge, right? And they were going to back body drop Joe Gacy onto the ladder, but he missed it early in the match. He missed the ladder completely. And Montez Ford was like, he looked at the crowd like, nah, one more time. And the crowd just went erupt. Like, I love when he do shit off the cuff in matches like that. But that was a great thing they did. So they brought Joe Gacy back in the ring, redid the spot, and back body dropped him onto the ladder. That was cool. Like, you don't normally see that in some pro wrestling matches. I like how you played to the crowd. There was like, hey, we're going to do that shit again. We're going to run it back. And they ended up back body dropping Joe Gacy onto the ladder, which was very fun to see. At another spot in this matchup, we had each member of a tag team hitting one member of the tag team on a table. So you had Johnny Gargano doing his infamous DDT over the apron onto Joe Gacy on the outside through the table. Then Dexter Lumis, I think he did like a flying senton land drop on Montez Ford on one corner outside the ring through a table. Then you had Ray Phoenix doing a frog splash through Nathan Frazier on another side of the outside barricade through a table. And then you had one spot with Dawkins. He's about to go up and hit Tommaso Ciampa, who was laid out on the table at the ringside. But Atium came up there, hitting with a Pele kick and hitting with a fucking Spanish fly off the top rope through the fucking table. That was a crazy ass bump, and it made me chuckle because I didn't expect Dawkins to take no fucking spot like that at all. Like, that's the first time I've seen him take it like a move like that through a table. It looked really great. Like, just this match alone, they were just doing so much shit in here that I can't really recollect. I'll just say you have to fucking watch this match. This is one of the best matches at SummerSlam. We knew these teams were going to kill it. They've been killing it for the better part of the whole entire year on SmackDown, that tag team division. Quite frankly, they should have been a tag team. All these tag teams should have been featured at WrestleMania, but they got their rightful spot here at SummerSlam and crushed it, man. This is one of the most funnest matches you need to watch. Seriously, like Candice LeRae got it, and it's obvious we could have seen that coming because if you know Candice LeRae's history from the Indies, she's known for doing crazy shit, like getting busted open, getting super kicked with thumbtacks from the Young Bucks back in the day, like the PWG era, intergender matches. Like Candice LeRae has done it all, bro. And at one point, she came out there, checked on Johnny, and everybody was laid down in the ring. She climbed up on the ladder. And they were waiting for their cue, but Johnny came back in, Tommaso came in to help her, and Montez Ford, he did a maneuver or something. I can't remember what he did, but he kicked Tommaso Ciampa into Johnny Gargano, who was holding the ladder for Candice LeRae as she was trying to go for the titles. And on the outside, there was a ladder bridge from the ringside to the announce table. And as Tommaso Ciampa hits Gargano, his momentum takes Gargano into the ladder, knocks Candice LeRae off the ladder from the inside, the top of the ring, all the way down to the ladder bridge, where she fell through the ladder, and she was done for the rest of the match. Like, this has so many nods back to the original TLC match. It was insane. Fabulous matchup. You have to go out your way to watch it. I think the crowd wanted any team other than the Wyatt Six to win because they were booing the Wyatt Six toward the finish of the match. You had Uncle Howdy get involved, Eric Rowan get involved. Like, those two weren't in the match, but they got involved. Nikki Cross got involved. Like, everybody got involved in this matchup. It was a human car wreck for sure, but one of the most fun experiences watching. I had a blast watching this matchup, and the Wyatt Six retained their championships. And I figured they weren't gonna lose it because they just really won them. Maybe like not even 4 to 5 weeks ago. I'm probably even overstanding it, probably a little less than that. So I knew they weren't gonna lose there. But this is definitely a fun ass match to watch. Definitely. Next up, man, we had Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. No DQ, no count out, last chance match. And this match really went the way I told you guys it was gonna do, man. Really, like. And at one point, like, in points in this matchup, Becky did debut a new song, by the way. At points of this matchup, the crowd was distracted a lot. And, like, if, like, my brother, he scrolled on, like, socials, and I'm not sure if this happened during the Becky match, because at points it was like, okay, remember how Beach Ball Mania was back in the day? How they were doing it, hitting the beach ball throughout the crowd, and when the people took it, they booed. Something like that happened in the arena, like, the people's views weren't instructed. They were just looking at the whatever was happening in the crowd. They were just worried about what's happening in the crowd, right? Like, they weren't paying attention to the matchup. So at points they were booing and they were cheering, but it wasn't towards Becky or Lyra. Something in the crowd was happening, and on socials there was a video of these people fighting in the crowd, and like who the fuck fights at WWE shows, bro? Like, come on, my guy, what are we doing here? I don't know if they was fighting over a seat or they were having too much beer or whatever the fuck the case may be. But that's the first time I've seen someone fight at a WWE show. As many WWE shows I attended, I've never seen no one fight there. The atmosphere, the people in the crowd are always like 100. Like, we share one bond, and that's pro wrestling. So that was weird to see. So that was hampering the match a little bit. Becky Lynch was in control of the majority of this match. Like, at this part right here in this picture, she pretty much pillmanized her, right? And drove her into the announce table right here. And she, like, Valkyria was stuck on the announce table, and Becky stood on the announce table and jumped off the announce table right onto the chair. Kind of like a pillmanize, but she just had her torso in the chair. At one point, Becky had her zip tied, hitting her with wrenches, hitting her with toolboxes, all kind of stuff. Becky just took control of this match. She had her, when she zip tied her, she put her arms over the ring post, kind of like how John Cena and Randy Orton match was at Breaking Point 09, if you remember, where Orton handcuffed him to the turnbuckles and draped him over the ring post and put the water all on him and started hitting him with the kendo stick. Becky did the same thing minus the water. So she was wearing Lyra Valkyria out with the kendo stick. Lyra Valkyria didn't really get that much offense in this match at all. Like, she had her hope spots, but Becky instantly cut that off instantly. At one point when Lyra was zip tied, she did like a belly to belly, and I think the zip ties actually broke off, but she immediately put them back on to make it seem that she was still zip tied, give you the illusion she was zip tied. So there was that point in the matchup. But Becky controlled the majority of this matchup, man. And this shit went the exact same way that I told you guys it was gonna do in the pre-show, and the predictions. I mean, with Bayley getting involved, I knew Bayley was gonna get involved just based on her promo she cut last week backstage, and the fact that they lost the tag team championship matchup the week prior to that. So I'm like, Bayley's gonna get involved. She's been involved with these two going back since WrestleMania pretty much. And she came out there to stop Becky from hitting Lyra with a crowbar. And kind of like Sami Zayn did night one, Becky wanted Bayley to hit her with the crowbar, but Bayley said no, she threw the crowbar, and then Becky hit her after that. And the finish pretty much saw Bayley get involved and hit Lyra by accident and caused Lyra the match, and Becky picked up the win, and now Lyra can no longer challenge Becky for the Intercontinental Championship. I told you guys if you don't go this way, like, it literally panned out the way I told you it was. Like, And at the end of this whole thing, Becky and Bayley will be on the same page. It will come out that Bayley had a lot to do with the finish of that match. Because if you look at how everything is played out, Lyra beat Bayley in that 2 out of 3 falls match to earn the shot at the Intercontinental Championship. She, in Bayley's view, Lyra lost the match for them because Becky came out there. But Bayley don't know that Becky was out there. She just know Lyra wasn't there for her in the tag team championship matchup. So we seen these things, these puzzles they's putting together. We seen this coming. Okay, so I expect tonight, sometime Monday Night Raw, it be revealed that Bayley has something to do with actually coming out there on purpose and screwing Lyra out of the matchup. And we might get Bayley and Becky in the tag team scene. We might. Just to have something different for those women to do. I'll give Triple H props in having all his big time women in the mid card scene, away from the major championship, and that's doing wonders for the mid card scene. So Becky picked up the win, returned her championship. No surprise to me at all. Went the way I told it was gonna go. Next up, man, we had Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. This steel cage match was definitely could have been better. This was kind of a low point in the show, for sure. This match and the next match I'll discuss coming up was definitely a low point to me. Because we all knew that the steel cage wasn't going to keep out the MFTs, even though they were trying to coin it as that. Like, this going to keep out them. No, it's not. When has any steel cage match in history kept out someone, period, point blank? Going back to the start of the steel cage matches, bro. It's never kept no one out, bro. So we knew they were going to get involved. You see Tala Tonga. You seen Tonga Loa. You seen JC Mateo. You seen fucking Jimmy Uso. Like, everybody who's been involved in this little angle had came out there and did something to a point and to a degree. Jacob couldn't do really too much. They could have booked this a little better for sure. You know what I mean? They didn't even go that long. I think they had to do it for like 10, 12 minutes. They didn't really do shit in this match for real. Like, until we got to the end. And I would have thought Jacob would have jumped off the fucking top of the cell or something. But they saved that for the end of the matchup. I couldn't really tell you no hot spots for this match. Really, I couldn't really tell you like no spots. Like, there literally was nothing. Like, just a regular. This was their match at Night of Champions, but I think the Night of Champion match was better than this match. But like I said, everybody got involved. At one point, Tala Tonga now, he climbed up to the top of the cell, handcuffed Jacob, and Solo was trying to get out of the cage, but Jimmy came out there, super kicked JC Mateo, super kicked Tonga Loa, and Hikuleo was nowhere in sight. So eventually, Jacob broke the handcuffs off of the top of the bar, went out there to grab Solo before he can escape. And JC Mateo the whole time is telling Solo, over here, Solo, over here, over here, over here. And then Jacob kicked the steel cage door into JC Mateo and knocked him out of the way. And as Jacob is going to grab Solo, Hikuleo, I don't know why I keep calling him by his New Japan name, but Tala Tonga, don't get used to me. I gotta get used to calling him that. But Tala Tonga hit the steel cage door into Jacob Fatu, and Solo fell out the cage to retain his championship and get the win. This match was like, you can skip this match. As much as I love Jacob Fatu, he did what he could in this matchup. They just limited him so much in this matchup. Like, there was nothing he can do here. At the end of the match, JC Mateo and Tonga Loa are in the cage. At this point, Hikuleo and Solo at the top of the ramp don't want nothing to do with Jacob. He goes inside the steel cage and he beats up Tonga Loa and JC Mateo, and he hits this fucking moonsault from the top of the cage onto both JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa ate the majority of that moonsault, but it looked great on TV, on camera. It looked really good. That's what I expected him to do in the matchup, but I guess Solo don't want to take those bumps, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know if this issue is over. They're probably going to drag this out for maybe the remainder of the fall, probably sometime toward Survivor Series, which I hope not. Jacob needs to be moved on to something else, something bigger and better. Just the numbers game is not in Jacob's favor, so you're gonna keep seeing the numbers game play a factor. I don't care if Jimmy Uso comes out there. I don't care if they bring Jay Uso. Like, the numbers game just factors Solo at this point. We already know what it is. Just move on. Everybody else move on to different things. So that's what this match was. It was a low point. You can totally bypass this matchup. Next up, we had the Intercontinental Championship. There's the moonsault, by the way. Intercontinental Championship match. AJ Styles versus Dirty Dom Dominic. Now, cool things about this match. This is the 20-year anniversary of Dominic. It's the first time we've seen Dominic, right? His 20-year anniversary. He made his appearance before the ladder match with Eddie, the contract ladder match to the custody ladder match with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero in 2005. If you ain't watched the match, you should watch the match. One of the best matches ever at SummerSlam history. Couple funny moments in that fucking match for sure, with Eddie saying, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" If you've never seen that ladder match, make it your way to go watch it, okay? One of the best matches and most entertaining storylines. Eddie Guerrero made that storyline so great, bro. That guy was ahead of his fucking time, man. R.I.P. to Eddie. Anyway, that's probably like our third time seeing Dominic, but our first time seeing him in a match capacity. So 20 years later, he's the Intercontinental Champion at SummerSlam facing AJ Styles, who I loved his fucking ring gear AJ Styles had. He paid homage to Eddie Guerrero. He came on a low rider with his son, and he had the Eddie Guerrero inspired attire, down to the white arm, the white hand tape, the tights, and the boots. I love the attire by AJ, paying homage to Eddie Guerrero. But this match here, just a regular Monday Night Raw match. The crowd was firmly behind Dominic, right? And being that the AAA show that he's involved in now on August 16th, like, that's why I was like contemplating, like, okay, I don't think Dom is don't fucking lose this match. They probably want him to walk into that show as Intercontinental Champ and possibly leave that show as the double champ. Because if you fucking watch the clips on YouTube or Twitter or wherever you can find them of him taking the mask off in the AAA show earlier, I think this week, that brother is over there, bro. So I wouldn't be surprised if he walk out of that match, that Fatal 4-Way match, as the champ. I'm just saying, Dominic, you can probably say 2-belt Dominic, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. So I figured he wasn't gonna lose this match against AJ. AJ hasn't won nothing big, bro. Like, going back to WrestleMania, he lost to Logan Paul. And I figured, like, ain't no way he gonna fucking beat Dominic at this point. I think at this point, AJ is probably putting over the younger guys and putting over other guys that's gonna be featured more than he will be, which is kind of unfortunate because AJ Styles still fucking great and he still can go. I would rather see him in a world championship program and winning a world championship, because he had a fabulous little feud with Cody Rhodes last year. So let's try to put something behind AJ. Let's try to give him another world championship, bro. So that's why, like, sometime in the back of my mind, I was like, damn, they'll give AJ this carry because they need to build that mid card scene. Only thing with the Dominic run is he don't defend a championship. That's my only gripe with anything the Judgment Day do. They don't defend the championships. The girls do. The girls defend it more than the guys do in that group. So I'm like, that's the only reason I would want those championships off for any member of the Judgment Day, because they don't defend them. But being that the Triple Mania show is coming up, I figured Dominic was not going to lose. So that's why I picked Dominic. And they pay homage to the Eddie Guerrero spot here too. If you remember in WrestleMania, I want to say it's at WrestleMania 20, where he unzipped his boot in his match against Kurt Angle, and when Kurt Angle went for an ankle lock, he pulled the boot off. Eddie Guerrero rolled him up for the win to retain the WWE Championship. Quite the finish, very creative, and they pay homage to it here. Dominic early in the match zipped his boot off, and as time went down, AJ Styles, he tore the boot off as he was doing for the calf crusher, and Dominic used that boot to hit AJ Styles and retain the Intercontinental Championship. So that finish was creative, paid homage to Eddie. A lot of homage paying in this matchup, which was good. So AJ Styles loses to Dominic Mysterio, who retains and probably will be a double champ within the next 2.5 weeks. Then we get to our main event. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena in a street fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Cody had a fabulous entrance. When he started his entrance, you can hear Dusty Rhodes over the loudspeakers, and they had his quotes on the Titantron as he was speaking. And I think you can find the promo they was referencing in the Titantron. It might have been from maybe one of his days in WCW, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. And Cody came up with that mask he always come up with, like he came with at WrestleMania 40. John Cena blew the roof off the place, man. We knew what he was going to do when he came on SmackDown and said he loves professional wrestling. He don't want to ruin professional wrestling. He just wants to take the championship home so everybody remember him for something when he's gone, instead of forgetting about him, which ain't gonna happen, John Cena. Nobody gonna fucking forget about John Cena. You're John Cena, bro. You're gonna be on the Mount Rushmore, my guy. Come on, no one's forgetting about you, bro. But he did the whole old John Cena whole nine, bro. Talked to Stu the cameraman, had the red, white, and blue attire. I thought he was gonna wear the New York Jets attire because they had that during the kickoff show on Friday, and he had it on SmackDown. So I thought that's the attire he was gonna wear over there. But he had the red, white, and blue New York Giants attire. Did the whole run. The crowd was fucking insane. They were out of their mind for John Cena. Out of their mind, as they should be. This is his last SummerSlam, bro. He went out there, did the whole run, threw the hat in the crowd, shirt in the crowd, like the John Cena of old. Cody Rhodes was receiving a little booze, but what's new? Like when we knew when he was going up against John Cena, he was gonna be booed at some point in time, man. So this is no surprise here. But Cody took it like a champ, man. He took it like a champ. Stuck in there and weathered the storm against Cena. This is one of the best John Cena matches, and like I said, we got what we got at WrestleMania, but the street fight stipulation helped cover some of those deficiencies in Cena game now. That he can't come out and beat the old John Cena of old. We saw it in the Night of Champions match with CM Punk and Crown Jewel, right? And Rhea, Saudi Arabia. So same thing here, man. They didn't really use that many weapons at all, really. It was just like finisher spam. Use fight in the crowd, use a weapon here and there. But the story they told though was fabulous, man. You know what I mean? Stipulation was designed to cover up John Cena, and it did just that. Great match for these two. Toward the end of the match, Cody unscrewed the pipe. And about I say, Cody did a whole lot of fucking cutters in this match, bro. A whole lot of cutters. Cody cutter. He did the disaster kick. He did a Cody cutter from the top rope. I don't even remember him doing it. I always remember the Cody cutter always being from the springboard, second rope, but he did it from the top rope as well. John Cena hit him with probably like, he had to hit Cody with like 8 or 10 attitude adjustments, bro. One of them from the top rope, one on the stage. At one point, they fall into the crowd, went all the way around to the staging area, under the stage, and then the elevator elevated them, and John Cena had Cody Rhodes an attitude adjuster position as the elevator is rising. So you get that camera shot of Cena just looking directly through the camera, and he attitude adjusts Cody on the carpet, on the ramp, and drug his weightless body back down to the ring. This is a very fun match. This is definitely better than Cody's last street fight from last year at SummerSlam. Definitely better. This rivaled his match with Brock Lesnar 2 years ago at SummerSlam. But this was a fabulous match, bro. Like, I can't recall everything they did. Just know they did a lot of fucking attitude adjusters, a lot of crossroads, a lot of Cody cutters. At one point, John Cena did a pop rods. Roxanne's move on the outside of the ring, and the crowd went nuts. Because nobody, I think John Cena might have done that move once or twice before back in the day. Maybe like 2013, 2012-ish, somewhere in there. But he pulled that out of his bag. John Cena attitude adjust Cody through the announce table, bro. Like, they were everywhere in this fucking match. The finish saw Cody unscrew a turnbuckle post, and at this point, the story has been Cody he's going to do everything imaginable to win. That's the story they were telling her. He was apprehensive on hitting John with the turnbuckle post, but you can see him mouthing the words like stay down, no more, no more. But John would get up every time. Cody hit him again. And then he hit him with the crossroads and pinned him. At one point, you see it here, he was choking him out. John Cena retort the same way he did Umaga back in 2007 at the Royal Rumble to win the championship, or to retain it in the last man standing match. When he legit choked Umaga out, he did the same thing to Cody in this match. This match was bonkers, man. Perfect send-off for John Cena, for sure. Him and Cody shook hands. Cody salute him at the end of the match before hitting him with the last pipe, right? They hugged each other. This was pretty much like a passing of the torch. Even though we know Cody had the torch now, this was the official passing of the torch. From the guy who ran the last decade plus to the guy who's going to run probably the next decade plus. And Cody. That's what this was. Perfect shot of them holding each other's hands in the air. And Cody leaving and giving John Cena the ring to celebrate and get the accolation from the fans. And then we think everything is peaceful. Everything, John Cena had the send off. Cody is the champ. Everything is to normal. Then we get fucking Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam. For the last time we seen Brock Lesnar was at SummerSlam 2 years ago against Cody Rhodes in that wonderful match they had at SummerSlam. The last shot we seen him was him shaking hands with Cody and giving Cody the rub. And Brock Lesnar came back, cut down his hair a little bit, but Brock Lesnar came back, cowboy hat and everything, walked to the ring only as Brock Lesnar can, circled the ring, just looked at John Cena, took the hat off, went in there and gave John Cena an F5 to end the show. And the good thing about pro wrestling is when you don't know everything, you get the reactions. Like, this was a holy shit moment, right? And a moment that's gonna come with a lot of questions of why Brock is back and how they pulled this off and when did they decide it was right to pull this off. But now we're going in the direction of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Triple H said in the post-scrum that he asked John Cena, what do you want to do? Who do you want to face? And John Cena said he wanted to face Brock Lesnar one last time before he hung it up. So we're going to get him and Brock Lesnar sometime soon, whether it's Clash in Paris or maybe after that. But Brock Lesnar versus John Cena is happening. And with everything that done happened in the last 2 years since we last saw Brock, there'll be a lot of questions thrown out there, man. But John Cena wanted him to be there because he's one of John Cena's biggest rivals. These guys had history going back to OVW, bro. Like, these guys had a lot of fucking history. Starting up in OVW together, now in WWE, all these decades later, they got a history, man, going back a long way. Fought each other in 2003. Fought each other in 2012 when Brock came back. The SummerSlam match. What was that, 2014? When he just demolished fucking John Cena. So these guys got a lot of history. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Do they show up on Raw tonight? Do they wait till SmackDown? Do they wait till the week before? Like, the week after, I mean? There's a lot of questions, man. So I'm interested to see what goes on. And holy shit, that ending to SummerSlam. I didn't expect that on the bingo card at all. SummerSlam overall was a good show. Really good show. Really good. They had more hits than misses when it comes to moments, matches, everything else included, right? So I'll definitely give this pay-per-view a thumbs up. This is one of the better pay-per-views they had all year. With tons of surprises, especially when it comes to the finishes and who won the matches for sure, and the moments and returns and everything, cash in, whatever you want to name it. Fabulous stuff to be there. That's gonna do it, man. All we had to see is what's happening tonight. Monday Night Raw. We'll hop off in the next hour. I'm going to get off of here. See you guys in the next video. I'm going to get this up, and we're going to have a course discussion about what happens after. So tune in to Monday Night Raw, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. The button's down there. And give it a thumbs up, man, so we can get the discourse going out through the IWC, bro. I'll see you guys in this video, man. Peace out, y'all.